Hello, hello. Who all do we have in here? I'm still waiting for Patty to come up. I hope she got my link. Let's see. Hello, Teresa. Teresa and Lee. Hello, Crazy Ed. Ben's Over Acres, hello. And Debbie, Sojourners, Kentucky Home, hello. Heaven's Essentials. Who else do we have in here? Okay, I got everybody that's popped up on my screen so far. Let me just check and make sure that Patty got my link because I don't see her here yet. So give me just a second and I'm going to send that out to her and I'll wait a few minutes to let everyone get in here. Okay. I think that worked. Hello, Nikki at Blue Farm and Southern Blessed Homestead. Hello. Oh, there she is. Southern Blessed. Hello.
Hey, hi everybody. Like all the boxes.
Still going through Roberta. Hello. And Josh at Skinner Farms. Hello. So, tonight's topic is going to be something that I think both Patty and I have struggled with a little bit. And it's going to be, hi, Susie and Country Homestead Preacher. Hi. Tonight's topic is going to be about trying to decipher the difference between what is a hurdle. You know, like we set these dreams or these goals, and then we have to try to step back and, you know, we hit a little road bump and we have to try to decipher whether or not it's just a little hurdle that we need to get through that's going to make us stronger, or sometimes it's a roadblock where God is just saying, nope, this is not in the cards and this is not what you're supposed to be doing. And I've had that a couple times. When I first started this channel, my dream was to live in an RV, to renovate that trailer that I have and live in that part-time during the year, and the rest of the time I was going to travel the United States. And then my mom had a stroke. And then I decided that I was going to do the tiny home. And then I had to go take care of my mom. And then when I got back to finish on the tiny home, God said, no, you're going to Arkansas, which was a huge roadblock. And so sometimes, you know, those things come up that sometimes it's kind of hard to decipher what's just a little hurdle that I'm supposed to get through, or, you know, like the 3 months that I was sitting here waiting for this mobile home to show up. It's like, am I not supposed to be here? Like, what is the roadblock here? And so I want to hear about how you guys, first, how Patty, how you try to follow what's a roadblock compared to, okay, this is just something I need to work through and I'm on the right track.
Right. Well, I can use, I'll just say this, that a couple years after I married Ben, I got out of working office jobs and went into horticulture because I just had a love for it. And it became a thing that I really thought I would do the rest of my life. And it ended up that that wasn't God's intention. And everything I started, he resisted. He resisted it from becoming what it could have been and other people were having success with. And it was really, really a struggle for me because I'm good at it. You know, there was no doubt, but it wasn't God's plan for me. So my thing was, why is this happening? And I had to go through and think, well, is it me? Is there something that I'm doing that's wrong? There was something that needed a change in me, but God, because I had a lot of pride involved with it, I wanted validation. And if you're doing something, this is one of my key things. If you're doing something because you're looking for validation, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And it will always come back to bite you. always, in some way or fashion. You might have some success, but you will always personally, you will not be fulfilled if you're looking for validation from other people in what you're doing. And
Instead of,
so for me, that became a really big thing. And because of my faith, then it had to be not just about that, but about fulfilling God's will in my life. So it's kind of transitioned from one to the other. And I know that not everybody on here is probably a believer, but we all have things that we have to um, do that are going to be the best. I look at Jess and what she does. She loves other people. She loves teaching other people. It's not about her. It's about other people.
why don't you
And
tell them who Jess is? Because not a
Jess at Roots and Refuge. Jess Sowers over at Roots and Refuge. Just an amazing one of those channels that just rocketed into the stratosphere. She's got what it takes, but she also has a heart that's in the right place.
Yep.
So that has been one of the key things for me is I always have to look at why am I doing this? What's the real reason behind it? I've got a stash of art supplies, a lot of different kinds of things. Should I be doing all of them? Probably not. Could I do all of them? I could.
Yeah.
So now I have to weed through and figure out what I really want to do. It's all that kind of a process for me. So I hope that helps answer that question.
Well, and in my case, it was, I thought justified. I'm building a house for myself, but he had a different plan. And as soon as I just kind of went with it, then everything fell into place. And then I get out here and I'm waiting 3 long months for this house to show up. And it was like, is this just a hurdle or am I supposed to be, it was like trying to listen in here and
well, Teresa's making a very good point here. I know for Christians and I would say for Jewish people too, God doesn't want us to run ahead of him or lag behind. He wants us with him. And there's a reason for that. There's several reasons. There's safety. There is, his guidance. That's where the blessings are. And that's where we can be used for his purposes, those things. So, it's really crucial. And I'm learning that the hard way, even now, as I go through this process of selling this house, which I'll be doing a video about. So I'm not going to go through all of it, but I just got the last boat out of the driveway. Those of you who've heard the story of the boat know. But anyway, it's a lot.
Yep.
It'll be a fun story to tell.
Bob wants to know if you are still at the same place.
Yes, I am still at the same place. And it looks like I'm going to be talking to a realtor here in the next few days, and I will be setting a date for when the house will go on the market, which I'm just about, I can't believe it's happening. It chokes me up.
Let's see. And then Christy says she's been waiting 3 years to move. And I get that because when I first moved to Washington, I wasn't even going to stay in Washington. I was going to stay there for a few months and then I was going to move to Oregon. So my plans have changed so much in life that, I was going to go to Gold Beach, Oregon, because my friends were moving there. And then they had a death in the family and they didn't move there. So I stayed in Washington and really I wound up where God wanted me during all that time. So that's what I want to keep my eye on, is following what his will is and keep looking to him. And that was the thing that I learned this week was, I was having some anxiety over a land issue here, and there's land here that's right out my back door and I want to purchase it, but I don't have a lot of money. And I have really been stressing over this for months as my money was dwindling, that I knew I had to buy this land. And then the message I got this last weekend was stop looking at the problem and look at the solution, which is he's already got it all worked out. And whether or not I don't even know if I'm supposed to own that land, but I need to stop stressing on it and look to him because he's already got it figured out. And so is it a hurdle? It might be, I don't buy it and some wonderful person buys it and, I have a neighbor right here. I don't know. So I have to just trust.
we can get in our own way. We become our own hurdle, and the thing I am saying now is I am surrendering to the process. That's hard
Yep.
because it never looks like we think it should. I talked to a financial advisor yesterday and realized there's options I didn't even know were available because I'm not in high finance. I might have worked at a brokerage firm, but I was at the front desk, not a broker, and didn't know anything about investing. So really made a huge difference.
I'm just putting that up there. It's up to you if you want to
Oh,
answer.
yeah. At this point, I don't believe so, Bub. I would love to be able to, but my family's here. My church family, which I absolutely love and adore, is here and have been such a strength to me, and I want to be a part of them. So I'm probably staying in Oregon, but I want to move out of Multnomah County, out of Portland, because that's really a hot spot that is really dangerous to live in right now.
Country Homestead Preacher says we have to be careful to not base what God wants on circumstances. Sometimes the path he wants us to go down is hard. Yep.
I'll raise my hand on that one.
Yeah, I know. I spent 18 months building a house to just be told I had to sell it and leave. And it's not what I wanted. So,
yeah, me, it's 17 years of chronic pain and learning to trust God. I never thought I'd go through that.
Yeah. Let's see. And there's a bunch of hellos here. Stringfield says, yes, I stress too much, and then it hits me in the face that I'm not trusting him for it. Yep. I have to have that tattooed. I am seriously going to make shirts for my channel that say, no fear, no worry, no doubt. And on the back, it's going to say, God's got my back, because
that's really
always,
good.
Always does. And I should know that by now. I've been doing this for how many years? Nope, I forget it. Gil, your video. Oh, okay. Sorry, that was something else. Let's see. And hi to everybody in the chat that's saying hello.
Yeah, we're all like trying to catch up with all the hellos here because there's a lot of people coming in still.
Yeah. Okay. So Kansas says, my husband bought me a house. Then after his dad died in 2018, he bought a shed to house for us, and it's placed there 200 miles away. Wow, nice. Yeah, and see, part of the reason why I brought this subject up is because I've seen others that a little thing will happen and they just quit and leave.
Yeah.
And it's just something simple and they just give up and leave. And so I guess that's why I wanted to bring up the hurdle versus, hey, no, this is a roadblock. When you get papers that say you have to be off of a property by March 31st, it's time to sell the tiny house and move. So, but, like deciphering what that difference is sometimes, because sometimes I could be so into the problem, and what's just a little hurdle it can look like a mountain, standing in front of us. And it's like, there's no way I can climb this. And,
well, I think that's why it's so good to talk to others and get some counsel, especially somebody who's been through it, or even professionals that might be able to help us, because it's surprising how much help is out there for us.
Well,
and just for the asking.
That's why I'm always on Marco with Patty and Patty.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we got.
They heard a lot from me, a lot more than anybody else during those 3 months of waiting.
I know. I've shared some things with you too. So yeah, we really need that accountability with other people. We can't do this alone. We might be doing what we're doing physically alone, but we can't do it in a vacuum. We really need one another.
Well, and I think God puts those people that we need. Sometimes he puts people in our lives that we need to learn from, and sometimes he puts people in our lives that we can bounce things off of and go, is my brain in the right place? Is my heart in the right place? And
we all have our talents. We have our talents.
And the chat just jumped. Let's see. Thank you, Tonya, for coming in. I have a lot of new people from Off the Wall Preppers sent over, a lot of new people. So on these Tuesday nights, we just discuss topics. They're going to be a different topic each Tuesday. I'll have a different co-host each Tuesday, but I want feedback from the chat also on what you do to try to decipher between, like tonight's topic is deciphering between a hurdle versus a roadblock. You're not supposed to
Yeah.
do that kind of stuff.
I'm looking at, excuse me, I'm looking at Southern Sown and Grown, her comment here. This community is our help. We have each other's backs. And I'm laughing because I'm clear out here in Oregon.
I know you live on the wrong side of the
I
United
do.
States.
You know, God
But
just connected me here. So,
Nikki from Blue
she's from
Farm is
Portland.
out there with you. Q
Yeah.
is out there near you. There's
Right.
quite a few of them that have popped up since I left that I went, where were these people when when I was out there?
They're kind of coming
I
out of
used
the
to-
woodwork.
For those of you that are new, I used to live in Washington up until March of this year, and God said, nope, you're going to Arkansas. So I am now in Arkansas, but I used to sit on the West Coast and just see all these people that were all these homesteaders and preppers and whatever out here on this side doing all these meetups. And I was way over there. There was no way I was going to have the money to get out here. I love this. I can't, he can, and I got to let him. Yep.
Exactly.
Okay, Kansas Misfit says, I thought I never had to move again because we own the home. Now we live in both, bouncing back and forth. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, when I was building the tiny home, I said, oh, I'm never doing this again. And look, here I'm doing it again. So I don't say never anymore. I can make the shirts with that quote. Oh, nice. We might have to talk because I need to learn how to do all that stuff.
Hey, Michigan Daffodil.
This community is our help. We have each other's backs. And you know what? What she's saying here is true. And it doesn't matter that you're on the other side of the United States from us, that the community itself.
Yeah.
Sometimes just talking about it to someone else helps you. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Who else? There's good fears and wrong fears. Yep.
Yeah, good fears are the kind that they're respect for the situation or whatever we're in, like having a respect or a fear of the water that doesn't overwhelm us, but we know what it will do if we don't respect it. That kind of fear. Versus
I have a fear of water because I don't swim very well. I mean, I could. I have a healthy respect for electricity. I have a healthy respect for water. I wouldn't even say that they're fears. And that was another topic I want to bring up on another Tuesday is fears, because I used to be paralyzed by fear and I don't have to now. That's a huge thing for me. Teresa says, I like what you said about accountability.
Yeah.
Sometimes just hearing ourselves talk out loud, and then you hear it like what you're saying and you're like, oh no, I already know the answer to this.
That's called verbal. And Marie, that's called verbal processing. I am queen of the verbal processors, I swear.
Well, I haven't started talking to myself out here yet, but the dog looks at me funny sometimes when I talk to her. Roberta says, I'm currently homeless, which means that I am available to help family and friends as the opportunity arises. My heart desires to have my own home, my safe space, but my plans are not God's plans. Yeah, and like I said, my plans have changed so many times because they were my plans instead of God's plans.
Yeah.
Sometimes just hello off the wall.
There's a shark in the water. Robert. Hello, Robert.
Where did let's see, blessings to the Homestead community. Found this live on the Brett Homestead. Oh, thank you for coming in, Michigan Daffodil.
Yeah.
And then I was in such a scatterbrain when I set up the original live that I forgot to put that my co-host was Patty, so I had to go back in and amend it. It's been a day.
I think the word has gotten out, I guess. So
yeah. Let's see. Hello from Alabama. Okay. Southern Sown and Grown says, we have each other here. I haven't met anyone yet in person and made lots of friends. I actually got to start meeting people in person once I got out here, and I've made some really wonderful friends. So
I need to find a friend out here with I need to find a friend out here with a private jet so I can jet across the
There you
country.
go. Yep. God's in control, Michigan Daffodil.
Yeah.
And if I'm missing comments, I'm really sorry. I'm trying to keep up, but oh, Microfarmer says graham crackers and apple juice works too. That's a joke from the marathon lives.
Yeah.
There's no sharks in the swimming pool. I learned that when I was 8 and I almost drowned, which is the reason why I almost drowned. Crazy Ed says I've got to learn to let go and let God. Yep.
Yeah. What I've learned is that each situation, doesn't matter how small or how big, is a new opportunity to trust God. Every single one.
Yep. And I know he's doing some remarkable things with you too. I mean, we've both been through similar as far as letting go. Like he's saying, let go. The joke, my mom used to joke with me and said, yeah, well, every time you let go, there's claw marks in it, you know, on. And so then she had told me that I needed to, and not turn it over. She said, you just need to drop it. So she wouldn't tell me to turn it over and let it go. She would tell me to drop the rock. And then the joke was, you know, if I was worrying about something, she'd hand me a big boulder and say, here, you know, when you're done worrying about it, drop the rock and give it back to God. And so it was like a visual for me, but yeah.
That's a great, great visual.
Yeah, well, it wasn't fun to carry that rock around either. And she was serious about it.
Object lesson that's worth learning. Very
Yeah.
much so.
Remember rivers flow south. That's Backwoods Misfit. Let's see, Michigan Daffodil says, big dreams, where are you? I was on a live chat with you 1 to 3 days before you headed out of Washington State, but never followed you. Just not enough time in the day. I get that. Believe me, Michigan Daffodil. I am now in Arkansas. I was able to purchase land really cheap out here in Arkansas. And now I have purchased a $2,500 mobile home that needs to be completely gutted and rebuilt. And that's what I'm doing. What you're looking at here is this mess around me is I'm sitting in the master bedroom, which I have already gutted and rebuilt. And now I get to do the rest of it while I'm living in here. Claw marks. I can relate to that. I think we all can in different situations.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes I feel like that toddler that just won't let go of something, you know, and God has to peel my fingers off.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Claw marks.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. So does anyone else have? Okay, I already looked at that one. I caught up on chat. Oh my goodness.
I'm proud of you.
That's one of the stressful things about these talks is that trying to keep up on the chats. Nice on the good price. Too bad for so much elbow grease. Actually, I like that kind of work. My body doesn't like it anymore. So hopefully, I'm not going to say never again, but hopefully this is the last house I ever have to remodel, or especially at this degree that I'm doing this one, because I am literally taking it down to the studs and rewiring it and replumbing and everything. So I'm getting a bit too old for that kind of work, but I do enjoy it. So
Yeah.
let's see. God allows roadblocks and or hurdles to remind us that he is first in all things and not necessarily our wants. And perhaps we got off focusing solely on him and not in our own strength. That's exactly where I was last weekend, Sojourner, where that exact thing.
Yeah, you know, because I know a lot of people, and I'm going to speak to Christians here, because I know there's some people that think that all they have to do is have enough faith, or they have to speak a certain, you know, just say it enough and it'll come to pass. And the thing that we always need to remember is that we're here to glorify God. So when we let go, he gets the glory when the provision is brought to us. And he knows what we need best and what we need most and what is going to bless us. and he will get glory for it. And that will be even better than anything we could ever imagine. That's what
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to here. I might not get
Um,
everything I want until heaven, but that's cool. Oh,
Thank
Brenda.
you, Bub. What's the weather like in Oregon right now? We've been thinking about checking out Oregon to move to. See, you
Oh,
might get
okay.
a friend
Yeah. Okay. The weather out here right now, we're getting into our fall rains. October 1st is when the rain year starts traditionally. We had some rain in September, but it'd been really dry all summer. So now it's been like high 60s, maybe 70 degrees, in the 50s at night, down to 50. It was like 49. Actually, there was a little bit of ice on the bird bath, but I mean, we don't get like hard freezes until usually until late November or December anymore. So it's pretty mild. It's actually beautiful. This is Pacific Northwest part, the northwest part of Oregon is like that. Down south, it's a little warmer down there. They get a little hotter and drier in the summertime. And then you have the high desert, which is a whole nother kettle of fish. Um, yeah, so, but I love the weather out here and all the beautiful mountains and the flora and fauna. It's just an amazing place to live. So it is very liberal.
out.
Just know that.
Thank you, Vicky. And Mama B, she says she's leaving.
Oh,
And for those of you that are asking about my hours, I did hit it. It just hasn't caught up on the monetization page. So you don't have to keep running my channel. You can run Homestead Aquarius instead because we're going to work on getting him his hours. Um, if you have a resentment, write a letter about what it is, pray, and then burn the letter. You have no idea how many times I've had to do that in my life, and it
yeah.
does work.
Hmm.
And then pray for that person.
Yeah.
Um,
If you have an opportunity to do something in love for that person, because that is truly
mhm.
acting on the forgiveness, because you have to
Yep.
forgive somebody in order to not have that resentment.
She's doing the mobile home. It's time for a garden spot. Yeah, I have a lot across the street from me that I'm going to do the garden at. I just have to clear that, and it's going to be a while before that because I have to work on the house first. Um, Brenda says, I bet I love mountain areas. Oh, yes. And then
Hmm.
Awesome Run also is working on getting watch hours, and we're going to start doing
Oh, yeah.
marathon lives with her. So let's see. Yeah. Some of those wish items you can skip because it's for family that has asked for those high priced items. So don't think
Woo.
that my wishes are that high. Um, so I think I think I got them all.
Yeah, you did, because Gail's is the last one on there. So,
And it
yeah.
lags out sometimes too. But
Yeah. Oh, by the way, congratulations on getting your watch hours. I don't think I actually
yeah,
stated that yet.
thank
So
you.
that's
Well, and I
cool.
feel like it was kind of a cheater way of doing it, which, but you know what? If it's not meant to be, it wouldn't happen anyhow. So I'm
It's
not
true.
gonna stress on it. I had taken 7 months off of YouTube to take care of my mom, and all the watch hours that I had for that 7 months just
Hmm.
fell away. So shelter first, then food, and then friends. Actually, it's water, then shelter, then food, then friends.
Yeah. And it's funny, Microfarmer, I'm going to say this. Um, it is and also the settlers used to do this. They used to prepare their fields first and get their fields sown, then build the house because they would have food
Yep.
if that was already sown. Otherwise, they'd have to find food. So that was one of the reasons they did that. So that's what they did out here in Oregon a lot. And I think it's actually a
Thank you.
scriptural reference too.
Yeah, well, and they usually did it somewhere near water so that they had the
Yes.
water already
Hmm.
for their food and their animals. And
You get to get
um,
creative.
yes,
So, the well, you digging a well, aren't you? Am I right?
no, I'm not. No,
You're not going to dig a well. You're just going to haul water.
I'm going to do rain catchment, and then hopefully someday I could save up the
And
$7,000 or whatever it is for the well. But the well is
okay,
way
yeah, you're doing rain catchment. You are going to eventually, that's what I meant. You're going to eventually dig a well. Yeah.
hopefully someday, way after the house is done and stuff. People have been blessing me. I want to someday bless somebody else. Yep.
Yeah. Pass it on.
That's how
Definitely.
I feel about it, Gail. Thank you, Backwoods Misfit, for coming in. I wanted to take a moment to say that you are both are an inspiration. Oh, thank you, Nikki.
Yeah.
Nikki's out there
Thanks,
with you
Nikki.
too. Well, I mean, she's in Washington, northern Washington, but
Right. She's a few hours
she's
from
on
me,
the,
north of me.
she's still on the other side of the coast. I mean, the United States. So she's
Yeah. On this
wherever.
side of the Mississippi.
Yeah, there you go.
Or this side of the Rockies, I should say. So yeah,
Yeah.
there are a lot of YouTubers in like Idaho, and they have their own little cohesive group, pretty much.
I
So
looked at Idaho for about a day. I was looking at properties there because I have some friends from high school there, and
uh-huh.
the
Hey,
price of land was so out of my range. I mean, at the
oh,
time
it's
I
gone
hadn't
up.
sold the tiny house yet, but it was out of my range even then. Hello, Granny Marino.
Yeah.
It was so high then that I thought, no, and then this opportunity came up and I just couldn't pass it up.
Chuck's in the room. Hey, Chuck.
Hi, Chuck. He's going to say his name's Chucky, but it's really Chuckles because he always
Chuckles.
makes us laugh. I messed my channel up, so I'm not eligible to be monetized. So I'm just going to have fun with my channel. There you go, Bub.
Hey, there you go. Start a different channel if you want to make money. I didn't want it as a job, so that's why I haven't worried
Me
about it.
neither.
I've had over 1,000 subscribers, I think, for almost, has it been almost 2 years? Yeah, I think so. No, year
Well,
and a
I
half.
hit a subscriber back in January on the Broussards I was on the Broussards channel and they helped me get to 1,000, but I didn't want to monetize. And then they came out with the ads on the videos anyhow.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, I might as well have control over what type of ads and where they place the ads and all that good stuff. So, and God knows I need money to finish this because the price of everything went so high. So, yeah. So I'm just following along. If it's going to make money, it's going to make money. And if it isn't, I still have a job lined up. So,
Yeah.
yes.
So did anybody have any like big roadblocks or anything that they had to deal with? I want to ask that question because I don't think it's been asked of people that they want to share, because I know we've been doing all the talking and we're supposed to have a conversation.
Yes.
We're waiting. This is like when the teacher goes, "Does anybody know?" And then nobody in the class raises their hand.
Or just tell us what your dreams are and what roadblocks or what hurdles that you have to get through to get that dream to come true, or to get that goal to happen. We just hit 1,000 not too long ago, but I think we are low on hours. Yeah. 14 days ago, I think it took me 14 days to get the 2,200 hours that I needed. But it was all done with live streams mainly and uploading every day. Microfarmer said I just had a big truck, so I didn't feel it.
That's a good one.
Bullying was my roadblock. And Gail, you mean in a work environment? Yep. And Ed has had a roadblock and had to start over.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's where he wanted us to begin with, and
yeah. Well, and none of it's loss when we look at it. I know people look at it like a big failure. A lot of times they get all down in the mouth about it. It's like, no, you learn things during that time. Exactly. So you need to think about what you learned and be grateful for those things. You've gained wisdom, all those things, and it'll help you do better in the future. And you just have to remember the things that you learned.
Yeah. And I forget a lot, so I have to learn it over and over over
Yeah.
another weekend. It's like, haven't I learned this yet?
Yeah, or you gain, you gain people that you get connected with along the way that could help you in the future. I mean, it's crazy how this life works.
Teresa says, I dream of quilting quitting quilting. What do I have on the brain? I dream of quitting the 9 to 5 and homesteading more, but people keep quitting at work and I am too loyal to leave them high and dry. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I used to, what was that? I had a friend that used to have that same problem. And I said, if you quit and there's a vacuum, they'll have to hire somebody to fill the void.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what happened. And my granddaughter was one of those people too. So one of my granddaughters. Yeah.
Well, and sometimes they wind up hiring 2 or 3 people to fill
Mm-hmm.
the void of one. But that's happened with me too. It was like I thought that they would never
Oh,
survive without me. And they did. They just had to pay out more wages.
yeah. Oh man,
Um,
Gail, I'm really sorry about that. It's terrible to live in
yeah.
a toxic environment like that. Work in one.
And they say it makes us stronger, but yeah, I don't know about that. Not always.
Do you see what Patty at Southern Bless said her hurdle was? Mac.
Hurdle for me is Mac.
I don't know if that's Mac saying that's actually Patty. I would imagine it's probably Patty, but Mac is known to do
Patty,
crazy
that's
things like that
just shove them out of the way.
too. Oh yeah. That's where, yeah.
Went to travel in the winter to warm weather. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't believe the first time I ever went down to Phoenix in the wintertime, how amazing it was. I know why people are snowbirding.
But Phoenix in the wintertime, yes, but not in the summertime because I have friends that
No.
have oven mitts. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
my brother lives down there, so I have a place to stay if I want to fly down. So that makes it nice.
Blue Farm Nikki says our roadblock is money. We have so much to do and so much we want to do.
Oh, yeah.
We just don't have the funds to make everything happen all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit at a time. And that's kind of where I'm at now, where, I thought I had a pretty good nest egg for doing this and, doing this remodel, and that money went fast. And now I'm like sitting here struggling. But I also know for me, the more struggles I have, the closer I get to God. And then everything works out. So, it's when I'm poor and counting my money each month that I seem to be closer to God than any other time. So,
okay, we have 2 more women that are talking about husbands. That is Teresa and then Michigan Daffodil. So, yes, us girls, we have our dreams. My husband was one of those that didn't want to prep either.
Let's see. I want to prep fully, but husband does not get it, so I prep as best as I can. Yeah. That's okay. Are you Patty with an I or an E? Okay, Patty, Southern Blessed is with an I, and the Tinker's wife is with a Y.
Yes.
That's how I keep them. And then now there's another Patty. It's I haven't put the channel name and the Patty together yet. And she's probably in here and she's going to kick me again.
Well, then she needs to speak up.
Oh my goodness. I know it's not GM. GM
Okay.
Flower is Luann. I can't remember. Yeah. Okay. Heather Bouchard says, hey, all, glad I caught you all. May not be able to stay long, but I'm grateful to be here. Thank you for coming in, Heather. So yeah, sometimes like what Nikki was saying up here about money, I wouldn't consider that so much of a roadblock as it is a hurdle. It's just like something that you work through and work towards, but you can still have that same goal or that same dream. My hubby finally climbed on board with the prepping thing. Sometimes it takes a disaster or running out of something. And I need to, like right now, my prep, I'm not prepped at all. Like I have 2 gallons of water here. That's it.
So, that's 2 days worth. That's not good.
That's 2 days worth for the dog. That's not 2 days worth for me. So, I have to get some water supplies here and stuff. But I know all the southern so-and-so and southern blessed. I'm like,
Yeah, not all of us are from the South, though. That's a good thing.
but no, I do need to get water storage here, more storage here for water, and more food stored up. I did do some extras, as far as toilet paper and paper towels and some canned goods and some rice and some beans and stuff. But and it's just me here, just me and the dog. So well, the cats, but
Yeah.
Water would be my number one thing that I need to stock up on. And I went to the store today to go buy a couple of gallons of water, and they had none. They're all sold out. And I thought, oh my goodness. So now I'm going to have to go get some kind of IBC totes and stuff and really work with it. But did my chat just stop, or did people stop talking?
They stopped talking. Come on, you guys.
Yeah. You have no hurdles at all in life?
Oh, okay.
Different. My wife doesn't go with the prepping thing.
Yeah, it seems like there's always one that's more into it than another one, really.
Well, and one of the topics that I want to talk about on Tuesday nights, and I think I have a co-host that I want to come up with me and talk about, is prepping without fear. Because, some of the prepping channels that I see are just all about, oh, it's the end of the world and da-da-da-da-da. Well, if it's the end of the world.
Zombie apocalypse coming today,
Yeah. So that's one of the other topics that I want to do on a Tuesday night, is prepping without fear. Just prepping to be prepared.
Robert.
This meeting is mostly prepared folks. Big James, who let you and your 2 gallons of water in here?
Really?
I've
got water behind the couch. I got water behind the couch, but you don't live next door, so I can't even share it with you.
Well, I have a case of these, so I'm good on coffee for at least 2 more days. Let's see. Even though storing up is biblical, I never prepared until I watched Heidi at Rain Country last year.
Oh, yeah, she's like
for 2 years and still working on it. She's one of the people that I met, one of the first people in the YouTube community that I met. And because she was at a homesteading conference right around the corner from my house when I lived in Washington. And she has so much information. I didn't even know she existed on YouTube until that homesteading conference. And she has so much information.
Yeah, she does. She's truly somebody who knows what she's doing and lives the lifestyle.
I'm kind of scared to click on Chuck's. It says, I don't consider myself a prepper. However, it was and is the way I've always lived my life. Yeah. I was born on a ranch and now own one. And most homesteaders are preppers just because, they're trying to preserve what they've grown, or they live far enough from town. You need water, and it's getting crazy high when you find it. Yep.
Well, when I was growing up, we always canned, and Dad hunted, and, we had the camping gear and knew how to live out in the outdoors. So, all that stuff we grew up with, and we lived in the city, but we grew up with it.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm just reading through to see everyone saying they like Heidi's channel too. She's really neat. Hello, family, Homestead Family Reclaim. Okay, Michigan says hubby does not get it, so his picky, unhealthy palate will have to suck it up because it's hard to prep for his food preferences.
Yep.
And Ed's got 40 gallons of water. Well, I could have 170 if it rained and filled my tank. I was born and raised in a small town in Montana. Prepping is a way of life there. Yeah, and that's what I found. Part of my prepping experience was living in California with earthquakes. And so you learn to be a little more prepared. And then not liking to go shopping. So as soon as I got to a point in my life where I could afford to buy 6 months worth of most of the groceries at once, and then send my husband to the store once a week for the milk and, stuff, then that was like awesome, because I did not like going to the grocery store. I don't like going to any stores. So, yeah, I don't know any other life either. Yep. Okay, Microfarmer, God bless all, and God is always working and blessing his true followers. He will have gave me more than I could have imagined. Exactly. I'd have never imagined that I'd be out here where I'm at doing what I'm doing. It was not in my plans.
Yeah. So, yeah. And one thing I wanted to say was, and I know we talked about this in our Marco chats, was making sure that the dream is your own and not somebody else's dream that you're just romanticizing about. Because I don't know how many people I've watched, especially like with Jess over at Roots and Refuge, and they just idolize her and her life and what she's doing. It is a hard work life that they're doing. It is not, it is not all that they show you. You just certainly see some of it. But behind the camera, there's so much more that goes on. So that's, you have to really have your feet on the ground and be realistic about it. Because if you're trying to take on somebody else's dream and work and trying to make it your own, if it's not really, if it's just a romantic idea, most of the time those don't work out. So you have to really love doing it.
I don't really get into the women's lib stuff at all ever, but I think part of it too is that as women, sometimes we, when we're married or in a relationship, we wind up latching onto their dream instead of having our own dreams or our own goals. And we just kind of follow along because that's what, is expected or something, instead of doing what our own, because God has a purpose for each of us individually too, as and then together as a couple. So I think a lot of people just latch on to that. I don't want to know what they're laughing about with Chuck.
Yeah, I missed Chuck's.
He just said, here you go. What do you mean you don't want to click on Chuck? Oh, don't be scared, young'un. Go ahead, click on him. Never know. Chuck is I think Chuck and Bub over at Getting Started on the Homestead, they're like brothers or something.
Yeah, maybe brothers of different mothers or something. Or whatever.
But yeah, so it's making sure that we're also following our dreams instead of, especially when you're caretaker and mother and all that stuff, you get caught up in kids' dreams and making sure that they're, they're following their.
Well, and there are seasons when we can really focus on what we have always wanted to do, but there's seasons that it has to take a back seat. And that's in any life, because it could be you're caring for an aging parent or a neighbor or whatever. You've got kids that you have to raise. You have to raise the kids and you want to raise them well. Right. Yeah. And you can include them, like Jess does a beautiful job, and so does Justin Rhodes, including those children, teaching them the lifestyle, and they gain a love for it. It's just amazing. But the harder part is when your spouse doesn't want to partner with you, or you don't want to partner with your spouse, and that doesn't work well. That's a danger in any situation, in any group setting, work or whatever. It's just poison.
Yeah. And then I've also recently had several people tell me, oh, well, you make it look so easy, like on my YouTube channel. And I'm thinking, like, I don't have any walls in my house. Easy? I have no water here. I'm cooking on a Blackstone outside. So I guess I need to put up more videos like that, but it is not easy at all. But I also don't focus on the difficulties, because I slowly got to where I'm at today, where 3.5 years ago, if you told me I'd be taking a shower once a week or twice a week, I'd be going, ew, but when we first moved out to the Washington property, we had no water, we had no electricity, we were doing the generators, all that stuff. So it was not easy. There was nothing easy about that at all. I think it was months before we got water finally, like, well water running. So I think I've like slowly kind of eased into this way of life where to me it's just it not everybody could do it. And I understand that, but yeah, maybe I need
Yeah.
to do some more videos about how I'm cooking on a
Yeah.
little teeny tiny burner and
Yeah.
whatever. What did I miss here? Let's see.
Stringfield has a really good one too. So okay, let's see. Ben's
Did
over
I pass that?
acres.
Let's see where's
No,
string.
no, just let's. Ben's over acres has a good one here, but we'll get back to
Okay.
Springfield.
I remember people calling us poor. Then we were upgraded to frugal. Now I find out I'm a homesteader. Yes.
Oh boy, you just hit the gold standard. Yeah, 748. Teresa has a good comment.
We both grew up in gardening, foraging, hunting life here. Learning to do everything properly and legally was the issue for us. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Especially. Chuck, after this live stream, when this one ends, which is in 10 minutes, then I'm going to do a Big Dreams After Dark where you guys can all jump on and chatter and stuff. So you can come up on the next one. I'll put the link up in that chat, and then you guys can come up. If you're showing a video when you come up, then you can come up and we can talk more about wherever this conversation's going. Yeah, and you know what? Okay, so I moderate a group on Facebook. It's a very big group on Facebook about tiny home, shed to home, homesteading. It's just all those people clumped in together. And the number one thing I see all the time is somebody wants to go tiny or someone wants to go do homestead and the husband or the wife isn't on board. And so they're stuck living the rat race instead of doing what, being more self-sufficient or whatever. And I see that all the time. That to me would be, I don't know, that would be huge.
Yeah. Well, we had I lived in a similar situation with my husband here. He was a dreamer and he was a gifted man at fixing things, but he was never anyone. He was somebody who didn't put legs underneath what he talked about and he thought about all the time. So it was really frustrating and wearing on me as a wife. And I know if I had been the dreamer, he had been like me, it would have been the same way. So it goes both ways. So yeah, whether it's whatever it is. So, yep.
Microfarmer says, sometimes you thinking people being mean and you ask why it's God. It's showing you wasted time and show you the true path he have for you. And these couple of days, he blessed me big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, look at this. I'm being good in my big dreams.
You are being a peach.
I can't handle 2 Chuckies in one night. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but I want to say thank you, Bub. I especially appreciate that. As a lady of a certain age, I do appreciate that.
Okay.
Hey, Nick in Arizona. Hello from Oregon.
I know I'm trying to scroll through here slowly, guys, and then it jumps. So let's see. Oh my gosh. See, this is why I don't click on this. Okay. 10 years ago, I'd watch good TV all evening. Now I almost never watch network TV and very little other, mostly YouTube, Homestead, Family, and Friends. I turned off my TV right after or right during 9/11 because my little kids at the time were watching it. And I was already disgusted with the sitcoms that were on TV. I just to me, it's mind numbing and it's garbage. And what is the group? Oh, the group on Facebook is Shed to Home, Off Grid Living, something like that. If you message me on Facebook, I will send you a link to it. But it's all about mainly tiny homes, off grid living, and converting sheds to homes because that's what I was doing back at the time when I started moderating. And now I just moderated. I don't post it there anymore because now I'm in the mobile home groups. My hubby and I went tiny in a fifth wheel RV. Nice.
Wow. Okay. Good for you. I don't,
Yeah,
I don't
I
think I
think
could be that kind of a person, but I'm glad you are. I live
I could so
vicariously
be.
through people like that.
I lived in a travel trailer for a 25-foot travel trailer for 3 years. So
Oh,
uh,
wow.
now the bad thing about living in a mobile home that's 56 feet long is when I'm sitting in a live stream listening to people, I have to run all the way to the other side of the house back there to get coffee. And before it used to be like right next to me. So I'm still adjusting to being in a bigger house. It's like, wait,
I'll
let me
talk to you
pause it
about
and then I'll
that.
come back.
I'll talk to you about that later. I got an idea for you.
Oh, okay. I'm way different with my time than 10 years ago. Yep. And
Mm,
I enjoy learning. So I'd rather sit and watch YouTube before I read a lot
yeah.
of books when the kids were little because I was constantly learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chuck says I'm not being good. Let's see.
Oh, Debbie Three Wolves. Hello from Portland up here. She's down in
Oh,
Southern
yeah.
Oregon. I haven't met you yet, so it's good to see another
Nice.
Oregonian on here.
Nice. See, you're not out there all by yourself
No,
yet.
they just, for whatever reason, it's taken time for them to bubble up from,
Yeah.
and get into this group, I guess I should say.
I showed my hubs your tiny home today and it gave him a lot of hope. Thanks for the channel. Thank you. I kind of miss that tiny home and I'm hoping that the gal that bought it decides she hasn't done anything with it yet, but I hope that when she finishes it out, she does YouTube. Newish subscriber with a question. You said it's just you, the dog, and the cats, but you've said several times that we moved out here. Is there another person? No, my dog is the we. She goes everywhere with me. She's like my
Yeah.
shadow. And and I was married and raised 8 kids, so it's my whole life it's been we. It's never been just me until these last few years. So yeah, now it's just me and the dog. It's we. Yeah, I take the time to learn stuff and how to survive. There is so much more that I need to learn, and I feel like sometimes I get in a hurry, like I'm trying to learn it all at once. Like I want to learn the herbs and the medicines, and I want to learn foraging, and then I need to learn about what a poisonous snake out here looks like. And there's like so much that sometimes I get over my head in it. And I know I just need to slow down and learn as I go.
Yeah.
But if anyone else doesn't have anything on this topic, I'm going to go ahead and end this live here. And then in about 15 minutes, I will come back with a live stream, Big Dreams After Dark, where we can all hang out and different people can come up on the panel and we can just chat and have fun. Let's see. Homestead Aquarius says, I've been in an RV for about 16 years now. I am used to the tiny home life and I don't miss the bigger houses I used to own. 10 steps takes me all the way to every room. That's how it was for me. And then I thought moving from the 25-foot trailer to the 28-foot tiny home, it was 14 by 28 instead of 8 by 5 or by 25. So it was like that tiny home felt so big. And now I'm in here and it's like massive. It's like way bigger than I would have ever purchased, except for the price was really good. Finding learning natural healthcare is my thing now. Yep. I've been on that path for a while and I still can't learn it all fast enough. Yes, learn one or two at a time and learn them well. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this. Thank you so much, Patty, for coming up here with me. And we'll think of another topic to have you come back again sometime.
Okay, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, this has been great. So, and I will be, just so people know, I will be doing an update here pretty soon about what my big next steps are. So that should be a lot of fun.
And I can't wait to hear it. So if I have a moderator in the group, can you put the Tinker's wife, hi, Sabrina. Can you put her link in the channel, please? Thank you guys all for coming in, and I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I will See you in about 15 minutes when I pop up on that other live. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate being here. And